Hey, what's going on, guys? So I know that some of you were a little worried by my last video, but as far as my health issues go, the vestibular migraines, the tinnitus and all that, I've been dealing with those issues for close to 2 decades now, and I'm actually doing better and feeling healthier now than I have in a long time. The main reason I brought Dennis on board is because I've been kind of a one-man show since I started, and it's just getting too much to juggle on my own. You know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't see, even for like a 1-hour crash course. And I've known Dennis for years, and I know he's talented, so it just seemed like a good idea, good fit to try and grow Traversy Media, because honestly, I feel like I myself have brought it as far as I can on my own, which is further than I ever imagined. You know, it still baffles me when I look at where I was at one point in my life to where I am now. Anyway, the main reason I've been quiet lately is because I've been working on a new course to replace my React front to back course, which is like my beginner to intermediate level React course. So I just finished Modern React from the beginning. It's a 25-hour course that focuses on both the fundamentals of React and how to use it in modern environments like React Router version 7 framework mode, TanStack query, the MERN stack. I also introduced TypeScript in this course, which many people have been requesting for a while. And I designed this course so that someone with no experience at all with React can start from scratch as long as you know JavaScript. But also developers with some experience can deepen their understanding of how React works in different real-world setups. And I'll have a link for it in the description with a promo for just 15 bucks, both my website and on Udemy. I also spent more time going in depth on key concepts like the component lifecycle. We even touch on how React works under the hood. And instead of building, you know, random throwaway projects, each project has a specific learning purpose. For example, when we learn about the use ref hook, we build a simple timer app that lets you, or shows you how to use the use ref hook to persist a timer ID across multiple re-renders without triggering a new render each time. To learn about use effect, we build a crypto dash app that interacts with the CoinGecko API and shows you pricing data with filters and sorting. We implement React Router in the declarative mode, which is kind of the traditional routing structure, and we implement Chart.js to show the price changes over time. In addition to using React Router in declarative mode, we use the new framework mode with SSR capabilities in a portfolio website called the Friendly Dev. And we start out by using JSON server for serving our projects, and we use Markdown files along with React Markdown for the blog posts. But once we get the front end up and running, we then implement Strapi, which is a headless content management system. And this makes things more scalable, more like a real world project. And we create a product and a post content type in the Strapi admin area. We also use Cloudinary as our image hosting service. We hook up a contact form with FormSpree. And we also keep the front end and back end decoupled. We deploy Strapi to render.com and React to Vercel. To show how the context API works, we build a shopping cart UI with a product and cart context so that we can access the cart from any component by using the use context hook. And we also use JSON server here to kind of mock up an API to serve the products. We build another classic from past React courses called GitHub Finder, which interacts with the GitHub REST API to search and filter users and display their data. We also show your recent searches and even follow and unfollow users. And the focus of this project is TanStack query, which handles all the data fetching, caching, and background updates. It's a powerful tool that replaces things like use effect and use state for API calls and gives you a much better dev experience when working with server state. And you'll also see how to refactor your components to make them leaner and more maintainable. This is something that we do throughout the entire course. And then the final project is a MERN stack app for sharing startup ideas and side projects. And in the front end, we focus on TanStack Router, as well as using TanStack Query here And again, we start out using JSON server, but then we move on to create our own backend API with Node.js Express and MongoDB. And we also implement authentication using JSON Web Tokens, but unlike past courses where I would store a long-lived token in local storage, we use a combination of a short-lived access token just kept in state, as well as a refresh token in an HTTP-only cookie. So this is a much more secure way of using JSON Web Tokens. And this part does get a bit advanced, but it's kind of a bonus with this course because it's really out of the scope of React. I just figured some people would like to take it further and learn full stack. So that's the gist of the course. There's some other projects in there. If you want to learn React or just deepen your knowledge and do some fun projects, check the links in the description. As far as YouTube goes, Dennis and I are brainstorming some new content for you guys, including, of course, the classic crash course format, as well as some new stuff. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.